Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've done a video. Um, I guess I'm one of those people that don't like to follow the pack. Um, and I feel that to do anybody justice, I need to just wait until I have something that I've gotten internally that might benefit you. It might not benefit everyone, but I hope that my little videos help some of you out there. But I'm not the type of person to follow the pack, and I'm not the type of person that I just do these videos because I like to hear myself talk. So I don't do them too often. But yesterday I had a long, almost 4-hour talk with a dear friend of mine, Hayden, and I know he listens to these. So thank you, Hayden. You inspired me. But we had a very interesting conversation, and that's why I wanted to get in this topic about immortality and shape shifting, and what that has to do with our ascension and who we are. And Hayden has some issues that he deals with, as we all do. And we were just talking about how, we would really like to restructure our bodies, and we realize that we are not just this physical body, that we're much more than our physical body. And it got me thinking. And a lot of us hear this, oh, you're more than your physical body, and we hear this, but we never apply it. We don't integrate it. And so we just keep living the programming, and we keep living the matrix, and we keep growing old and older and older. And I remember when I was my late teens, and I would watch all of my elders just, when they were 50, it was like they just aged so rapidly, and they all were the same. The women would have their really short hair, and they would perm it, and they started wearing older women's clothing, and it's all part of the programming, which we all get caught up into. And but immortality, I like to touch on how our body is so fascinating, and we don't give it the credit that is due. And right down to think about when you get a cut, how it heals. When we watch these vampire movies, the Immortal vampires, how, they get their necks broken, and the next half an hour later they're getting up, or, they get stabbed. As long as it's not with the right stake in the heart, if they get stabbed, they can regenerate. They're immortal. They can't die. Well, our bodies pretty much can do the same. And it doesn't happen quite as quickly. A cut takes a few days to heal. But I think a lot of that has to do with our pre-programming, and what we have been taught, and what the limiting expectations we have for this physical body, this very magical physical body. We just have such low expectations about what it can do. And it doesn't have any superpowers. But when you think about it, if you cut yourself, and with the blood will start to clot, and the red blood cells, how they work, the white blood cells, how they work, and the antihistamines that our body makes. I mean, it has its own little self-defense mechanism going on, and it can rejuvenate. And what do they say? Every 2 years we have a whole new body, because our cells are constantly rejuvenating and changing. And so we're learning that aging doesn't have to be, and I think aging was part of the programming that was put onto us. And if you watch today, the women, how they seem to be getting younger. They're not, 60. They look like they're 40. And so it doesn't necessarily have to do with the medical aspects of that. Oh, they get facelifts, and you could see people who went out and got facelifts. They really look terrible. The ones that overdo it. But the women who have the right mind thoughts, not the right mindset, the right mind thoughts, can just slow aging. And, you know, you see them all the time. I mean, Cindy Crawford, Christy Brinkley. Yes, they're supermodels, but I think it's a mind thought. They've gone away with the expectation of, yeah, this is just when our body slows down and we have to grow old and we can't do as much as we used to do. So in that respect, these bodies can be immortal, and aging is all part of the programming. And it was funny because when I was talking to Hayden, I told him that I'm going to be 57. Let's see, today is what? May, what is today? Let me look. May 24th today. And June 1st, I'm going to be 57. And I signed up for belly dance classes again. And it's funny because the first few classes I realized that I was the oldest dancer there. And it really, I had these mind thoughts in my head right away. And I realized that most of them were not my thoughts. Most of them were thoughts that are put in my head. Oh, you're too old. Look at you. You're the oldest one in the class. You're not going to be able to do this. Your body will not be able to keep up. Blah, 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 blah. All of that. And so, you know, after 6 weeks of class, it was like, no way, I'm going to do this. And I'm having a great time doing this. And it is revitalizing my body. It's changing my body. It's restructuring my body. My body is responding to my positive internal thoughts. So that's another thing that is really interesting about our bodies. It responds to how we think about ourselves. And we have to remember to love this body. It is our vessel on this earth. And so how we think aging is to be is part of this body. So this body will react to how we think, our mind thoughts. So we need to change that. We need to restructure our mind thoughts and say, oh, aging, there's no such thing as aging. And this body is constantly rejuvenating new cells. I mean, I used to be an esthetician, so I know how the collagen and the cells in our skin are constantly sloughing and renewing and sloughing and renewing. And, you know, the old mind thought was, oh, we only get so many of these fibroblasts. And after we age, that stops. And so our skin just ages and wrinkles and falls off. It's all of the programming that we need to get rid of. So, and healing is the same way. You know, we all think, oh, we expect our body to take a long time to heal. And so our body responds to our limited expectations. And so, you know, that is part of restructuring and changing. That is part of this ascension process, this getting into the event. It's all in here. And this responds to what's in here and what's in here. So we have to remember to nourish and love our bodies. And nourishing and loving our bodies goes right along with nourishing and loving this planet. God, you guys, so many of you got your heads, it gets me so frustrated. You got your heads up in the heavens and up on the spaceships and up on the ETs, and it's all distraction. I am sorry, it's distraction. We chose to come here on this planet at this point in time to take part of this planet's ascension. And we are made up of, our body is made up of the same elements that this planet is made up of. Earth, air, fire, and water. Earth, our body, fire, earth, our body, water, our blood, air, our breath, and fire, our spirit. Now, this is going back to my wise woman days. And this is a song we sing all the time. And it's honoring our connection to this planet. With our planet is made up of all the elements. And without all the elements, our planet will not exist, and either will our physical bodies. So, the old saying, treat others as you would like to be treated. Same thing goes for our planet. So when you see a lot of these women, a lot of women who we call them the wise women, the witches, the healers, the medicine women, and they just look ageless. It's because they know about this connection. They know about how to treat the mother, the earth goddess. So by treating her with reverence and honoring her in all of the realms, she gives that back to them. It's an energetic exchange. So when you are wondering why, well, things just aren't going that great with me, and I don't understand why I can't heal, and I'm always sick, and I'm always this, and I'm overweight, or whatever it is you got going on with you. You have to remember where you are and what you're standing on and what you are part of. And so many people will not, they just don't get that. They don't think that they need to think that way. And you're missing out on a huge part of why you're here and how to access your so-called superpowers and your abilities. It's all about how we do treat others, and it includes our planet. Our blood is full of silica, and we are 75%. Everybody's got a different amount. Well, so we're 3/4 water, and so we like, those of us who like to use crystals, we know that crystals have their healing frequencies. And okay, so where do those crystals come from? That comes from our mother goddess, our mother earth, our mother planet. And those come from her. Those are part of her 4 elements. So we use these, we dig them up and we take them home and we use these. Well, so, and we know we can program the crystals. We can program to do whatever it is we would like these crystals to do for us, to heal us, to help us. And so, because our blood has silica in it and we are 3/4 water, we also can program our bodies. We can do the same thing for our bodies. So you need to program the blood and the water and the heart and the earth of your bodies to heal and to expand in knowledge and to grow in knowledge. And it's so easy, you guys. You just have to integrate it. I know we're told a lot of things, and the next 10 minutes later after we hear it, we forget about it. We don't live it. It's time for us to live it. This is all part of this ascension process. And this is why so many of us still seem to be a little bit stuck. And so I want to show you quickly, I've done a video on this a year and a half ago or a year ago, but I just want to show you how wonderful our physical bodies are. And this is lucky. This is when I was first taking my Reiki classes, I was learning about how our bodies can rejuvenate and heal, and how, we have the power of doing this. It's part of our immortality, let's say. And so this poor guy, if you can see, let's see, right there, that's cancer. And notice how one leg is much thicker than the other. That's cancer, and it's causing his leg to splay out like a log. And so the one leg, this one, when I first met him, this is what I saw. This is cancer. That's on his hoof, his right hoof. And more cancer on his knee area. And I had more pictures, but what did I do with them? Anyways, that's two of them. Though that's two of them of the many lesions that were on his body. And so a friend of mine and I decided to work with him energetically and also using herbs. We were just learning about herbs at the time. We were using calendula and we were pumping them full of vitamin C and we were experimenting. This was back when not a lot of this was well known about, helping horses with cancer. Most of them got a bullet to the head, which I think is awful because, they have the right to heal. So after a month of working with him, energetically and with herbs, see the change? That's a month. And the lesions were dying. And so they were dying and they were sloughing off. And see the difference? It's all gone now. And so that pink flesh soon, was growing in, and then it grew over and he got hair and then that's, you can see the lesion is gone on his hoof. And so that is a constant reminder to me of the power we have within us with compassion and love and understanding of who we are and what we're capable of, what we can do for ourselves and what we can do for others. We all have the ability to do that. It's just changing the mind thoughts. It's breaking through that matrix that keeps us boxed in. It keeps us boxed in this physical box, and the box that we put limitations on. And I mean, what we can do is as broad as our imaginations. We just we have to learn how to access that. We have to change that. And so we shapeshift every time we rejuvenate and we shapeshift, we change into a different person. And when you think about who you were before you were on your path, before I was on my path, I thought about who I was, and I was we say, oh, that was a different time. That was then, this is now. We were slowly shape-shifting into who we truly are. And so on our journeys, the more we learn and more we integrate our correct mind thoughts, we are constantly shape-shifting and changing into these super power beings, which we see in the movies and on TV. And it's time for us to stop watching that and wishing we could do that, because we can. It's just we are limiting what we think our bodies can only do so much. And so with me taking on belly dance, and that belly dance was a dance that was not made to turn men on and to entertain men. It was actually made for the women to for their reproductive the reproductive area, and for the childbirth and for menstruation. And because back then, when God was a woman, the women knew how sacred their bodies were. And so they danced, in the sacredness to honor their bodies and the abilities their bodies and the power that their bodies had, and the sexuality that their bodies had, and the healing. And I talked about this in one of my other videos. The men came to the women. The sexual act was healing for the man, not like it is today. It's not like a little notch on the man's belt. You know what I mean? And so they did belly dance. They danced for the goddess. And that is because I'm done with my reproductive years, but that's the reason that I decided to take it up. It was me honoring and challenging myself, and doing this for the goddess and for the Earth Mother. And I'm vegetarian. And, I used to be a huge meat eater. Even when I was on my spiritual path, I was eating meat, and I was eating processed food, and I was eating dairy. And there was always something that, I felt like I was missing. Something's not right. Something's just not clicking here. And then I realized it was what I was putting in my temple, what I was putting in my body, and how I was affecting other beings by what I was putting in my temple and putting in my body. So for me, it was a big challenge. Can I do this? And it was like, okay, I am going to honor the goddess and the earth mother. And in honoring her, I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to show and prove to her my reverence for her by changing what I put in my temple. And, some say, oh, you can still eat meat, but I really, for me, how can, and here we go again, it goes right back to what you give is what you get back. How you treat the earth mother is what you are going to get back. How you treat other beings is what you're going to get back. The animals are slaughtered. It's a horrible, horrible experience. That cortisone, that fear cortisone is in the meat, not to mention the drugs and the hormones that are still in a lot of the meat. And so we ingest that, and we are taking it into our temple. So if you are on a plateau with your spirituality, with your journey, you might want to think about that. You might want to challenge yourself and say, hey, I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready to challenge myself and see if I can do this. And to experience what I will get in return for doing this. So, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And, our bodies are, they are more than what we think they are. And everything that is around us and bombarded with us and fed to us is to stop us from realizing that, from realizing our superpowers, from realizing our immortality. Our bodies are supposed to go a lot longer. And with this ascension and this event stuff going on, we talk about our bodies going crystalline. Well, when you think about it, our bodies are already crystalline. We are 3/4 water. Our blood is silica. Is that not crystalline already? And what it is it's not that it's changing, but the only way it can change is by our mind thoughts. For us to integrate that and remember what our body is. So our body can become what it is. Okay. Sorry about that. So again, our bodies, our mindset, our mind thoughts program our bodies. So with our limitations, our mind limitations, we limit our body. And to think that, we are becoming, or are we moving into a crystalline body is really something that's already there. And so saying that, we are something we are trying to attain, it's like something that's always in front of us. It's like the carrot in front of the horse. It's something that we're always looking for. Oh, we're going to be crystalline. Oh, we're going to be crystalline. Oh, I can't wait till I'm going to be crystalline. All that does is stop that from happening, because we're always looking for something in the future. We need to look for something in the now. And our bodies are crystalline now. We just have to change that programming. We have to reprogram our body by reprogramming our mind thoughts. That's the one thing I want to really hit home with this video, okay? And not all of you are going to resonate with this, and that's fine. We are all where we're at. But, hey, kitty's scratching my chair. Bad. So we're all where we are supposed to be, but don't complain that things are not moving along. This could be one of the things, and there's a lot of reasons why, things might not be moving along. A lot of us are here to help others. And I had the video on the empaths and what the empaths have to deal with, and so that's why we as empaths and indigos really need to really work hard on our mind thoughts, because we take in so much negativity. To transmute it, a lot of it affects our physical body. So we really do need to change that. And that's what Hayden and I were talking about, is changing that and transmuting that, and changing the negative to the positive. And we can do that. We can send it to Gaia and have her transmute it, transform it into something positive and beautiful, something that we can use. So that's all I got to say, guys. And I hope you can hear me, because my microphone has not been working correctly lately. So anyways, change your mind thoughts, guys. And I'll talk to you the next time I have something worthy of talking about. Okay. Much love.